Hi Martin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So 12 points from your opening 5 games into the top 3 of the WSL table, Spurs' joint best WSL start. I mean, you must be really pleased with how this season started.
Yeah, really pleased. I think, we've had some good performances. We've had some performances where we've shown bits of both sides. We probably want more consistency with those performances throughout a longer 90 minutes. But yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better start.
And this weekend is one of the biggest tests you can have in the WSL, away to Chelsea. What kind of game are you preparing for, and how do you go about beating them? It's a big question.
Yeah, of course. I think we know the quality they possess. We know what the champions in terms of the squad they have, what they've done in Europe or also domestically in the league. They're renowned for winning in terms of what they do. So yeah, we know it's going to be a tough game. More importantly, we have to focus on ourselves and impose ourselves in a better way than we have when we've played against the top clubs, if we say that. More importantly, we have to go into the game with confidence and belief that we belong to be there. More importantly, and away from that, we have to make sure that we show the best version of ourselves.
Last season, Spurs only won once away from home. You've already won twice away from home this season. So how important is that away form going to be for you? Yeah,
it's crucial. I think for any kind of competitive game, you want to make sure that whether it's home or away, you're always in contention to win the game. But I think your away form definitely plays a part in where you will finish. We have to make sure that when we go away, we might have to sometimes surrender the ball a little bit more than we think. But more importantly, we can still impose ourselves with the ball. And I think that'll be the differences when we go away to, especially games like this against Chelsea and so on. We have to make sure that we impose ourselves like we did against Everton, like we did against Leicester, where we're going to have to defend resiliently. But more importantly, I believe we can do that. And then when we have the ball, we have to be ruthless with the opportunities we get.
And finally, you announced your technical and leadership coaching team. I think if that's the right way to phrase it this season. Also, a few games are going to be played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well. So how important is all of this for not only the success of your team, but it shows how the club is backing you as well?
No, it's important. I think having the right people around you and the right leadership group around you is important. It helps me to have more freedom in my job in terms of to manage the people around me and delegate a lot of work to them. You have to have people around you can trust, more importantly, because that enables me to really push the workload around. So yeah, by having these people around me enables the players to grow also, not just me. Enables the staff to grow as a collective, but it also enables us to be efficient and effective. And I believe we can be pioneers in those departments, which we have really strong. I have really strong work colleagues in. So more importantly, it's a really big step in the right direction. It's a really good support mechanism around me and the players. But it's a really good kind of move by the club to make sure we have the right support around the women's team and we can take big steps forward.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to questions on the online feed. Tom Gary.
Morning, hi, nice to see you.
Yeah, Tom, how are you?
Thank you very much for your time. I'm wondering how you're keeping everyone's feet on the ground. Like, what sort of things are you saying to everyone to stop themselves from getting a bit carried away?
No, there's not. I won't say people are getting carried away because I always remind them, as you'll probably know me as a coach, Tom, is I try to remind them in terms there's still a lot of work to do. We're only 5 games in. We're very premature in this new kind of era, if you want to call it, in Tottenham Hotspur Women's career, and we want to make sure that we can continue to be effective. We want to make sure that we can better performances because we know that. We haven't had many full completed performances back to front, so we know that's something we need to work on. So I have no doubts the players' feet are very well grounded. We always look for ways we can be better. More importantly, we look at the things we do well, because that gives you confidence and belief. And it's more just reminding the players that we're on the start of this journey, and we have to make sure that if we want to be as high at that tail as we can be, we have to keep improving, because you do the same thing, you get the same results. And more importantly, I know in this league that if you want to keep pushing those top spots, you have to find something different every week.
And how do you look at it in terms of Chelsea having had the game in midweek? Do you see that as helpful that they've had the game and they might be less fresh, or are you sort of expecting the kind of the backlash of them having not won and they might want to go out and try and... Which way do you look at it?
Yeah, you look at it from both sides. I think they rested some players in the 20 game, and yeah, you know that you're going to get a response off the back of it because maybe Sonia was disappointed as well as the players with that performance, but that's not something to really look at. You know, maybe you're going to get that, but more importantly, we have to be willing to stand up in front of that. We have to be willing to impose ourselves on the game, and make sure we focus on what we can control, and that's our performance, on how we exploit them, and more importantly, how we play against them when we're defending. So yeah, we're not really that. I know that's probably going to come, but more importantly, we can't control that. So I just focus on us as a team and what we can do, and hopefully we can put in a big performance.
Superb. Thanks, Martin, and good luck.
Cheers, Tom. Have a good day.
Thanks, Tom. Go to Rachel.
Hi, Martin. I just wanted to ask you a bit about Chelsea. Chelsea like to try and win the ball higher up the pitch. They've kind of spoken about that post-match after games, and I just wonder, it does mean that there's places where you can expose them. How do you train for those high-pressure moments to ensure that players are capitalising on those high-pressure moments? Is it a case of experience in those moments, or can you train for that kind of specific situation?
Yeah, Rachel, you can do as much as you want to try and prepare for those moments, as we know. And yeah, we do a lot of training in that area of the pitch. We do a lot of training higher up in terms of how you exploit those moments, maybe. But also, I know that when you come up in a game, there's a different type of pressure. Training pressure is different to game pressure, and you have to be able to, more importantly, translate that across. And I believe we can do that. We've seen the way they press high. We know that they're aggressive and they're very front-footed. They have wonderful players to do that with the physicality, but I believe we have the players to be able to play through that pressure at times. We have the ability to go past the pressure if we need to go past it. So yeah, we'll train lots of those moments throughout the week, but more importantly, we have to find the right ways to break that down, and hopefully we'll do that on the weekend.
I think we've seen as well from some of the goals that have been scored this season, players taking opportunities, very quickly. You think of Tinker's goal from nearly the halfway line, very little time to actually think about that. I guess those kind of that ability is important in those moments, right? Where you're not going to overthink those situations.
No, of course. I think you do those ones like Katinka's off instinct, in terms of when the ball drops, her awareness to do that straight away. That's more instinct, and there'll be lots of moments like that maybe throughout the season, but also in these games when it's tight and maybe the ball does, or maybe there's some small technical errors that you need to capitalise on. And yeah, if those opportunities present itself to do that again, I'm sure the forwards will relish that.
And just finally, it's World Mental Health Day. We spoke to Molly Bartrip about her journey with mental illness, and I just wonder, coming into the club, have you noticed that it's a place where people are more comfortable being able to talk when they're struggling? Maybe is that something you've noticed?
Yeah, definitely. I think from a wider club perspective, from staffing as well as players, I think it's important that we provide the right support for people when they need it. We outline where that support can come from, because I think that's important. And we've had some obviously devastating times over the past few weeks with the likes of Matt, and we want to make sure that, more importantly, we give people the space if they need it. And I do that a lot with the players. If a player needs to speak up, or a player needs any support, they know they can knock on the door. Same with any of the staff that we have here. And I know player to player, that's really big. A lot of the players look up to one another and will support one another. So yeah, there's really good support mechanisms around this group, and I'll continue to push that.
That's great. Thank you. Best of luck for the weekend.
Cheers, Rachel. Thank you.
Chris Cowlin.
Hi Martin, how are you?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Can we start with the team news? And is Molly Bartrip in a position to be a part of the squad?
Yes, Molly is in contention for the squad. The only ones on absentees are still the longer term ones, Ella Morris and Luana Boulia.
Okay. Chelsea last lost 18 months ago in the WSL back in May 24. Where do you see their weaknesses in their team?
No, I can't tell you that, because they'll probably be listening to this press conference, so we'll have to keep that one ready for the weekend. But no, more importantly, I think they're a wonderful team. You can't deny that. They've won the championship numerous times, as well as other competitions they've won, and they have a real long depth of talent in their squad. And yeah, we respect them, because you should do as a coach and as players. And we go into the game with the confidence and belief of our own performances that we're moving in the right direction. We're starting to build something, and we go into this, more importantly, with no fear, because that's what you have to go in with a willingness to apply ourselves, a willingness to be aggressive, and make sure that we show the best version of ourselves.
The fans forum, of course, takes place next week. How much are you looking forward to engaging with these Spurs fans?
No, really important, because it's actually why we do what we do, and more importantly, it's to make sure that we can put on a game and put on a performance that people can be proud of, who represent this club. And more importantly, what can we do to make sure we connect with the fans, more importantly, to make sure that we can support the community, support the next generation of talent, but also give the fans what they want. And also, I think it's really good for them to be able to give their opinion and ask me some questions, maybe what they've wanted to ask, where maybe they don't get always the space to do it. So I'm really excited.
Lastly from me, of course, club announcement came out yesterday, £100 million injection from the Lewis family. I know that Thomas Frank has spoken out about this, that he's met the Lewis family. I just wondered whether you've met the Lewis family yourself, and have you had the chance to have a conversation about their ambitions for the Spurs Women going forward?
No, yeah, I've met them numerous times at the games. So no, yeah, very well supported. Are doing everything they can now to make sure the women's team supported them. We evolve and we grow, and yeah, I have no doubts that they will continue to support us now going forward into the next window and beyond that. And they have some really ambitious plans for this team, and yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Best of luck, thank you.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Charlotte?
Just one for me, which is, I know you don't want to surprise me. So many times I've heard Spurs women's managers and players really talk up going into these big games, and they never quite get the result of the performance. There's just been that one famous day at White Hart Lane where they beat Arsenal. Is there a bit of a psychological thing, a bit of a monkey to get off the back about beating these top four sides?
No, from my perspective, no. I think more importantly, you have to go into these games and you've got to change the mentality that when you cross the line and you go to play, it's 11 best 11. And yeah, more important, we have to make sure that I think what gets you through these games is a desire and a passion, but more also a willingness, Charlotte, to want to be competitive. And I have no doubt that no player goes on the pitch not to be competitive. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck that goes with that at the same time to get you over the line. And but what you also need is those moments to drop to you with the ball to make sure that you can capitalise in the moments when you're on top. And that's something we need to look at in terms of when we have momentum, do we take it? When we're against it, more importantly, can we ride it out? But no, I don't think there's nothing on our back to, more importantly, kind of take a psychological effect on us of being negative. It's more how we go into these games with confidence and belief. And I think we go into this game off the back of, 12 out of possible 15. That should be enough confidence for the players to go into the game in the right mindset.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Alia?
Hey Martin, how are you?
Good, Ali, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Spurs captain Bethany England is the all-time goal scorer in London derbies, kind of demonstrating how good she is in these high-pressure big games. Ahead of such a big match, how important is her talent and leadership going to be against such a strong side like Chelsea?
No, it's really important, and along with obviously Beth, she has a track record in these big games, and she leads by example. She conducts herself professionally when she goes onto the pitch, but also she shows a willingness, a desire, and a passion to represent this club, and that's alongside the other players. We have a lot of different experiences within the group, and I think her leadership will play a part as well as the other experiences from the group.
Yeah, and then there's a possibility, if results go their way this weekend, that Spurs could go top of the WSL table, a possibility that may have seemed quite far away last season. Does this show to you how much the team has improved under your leadership?
Yeah, not just under mine, because I don't say it's not for me to take credit for, but it's the players' attitude and commitment to what we're doing, their willingness to listen, more importantly than apply what we're asking, and knowing that along this way we will take bumps and everything won't be perfect, but more importantly we know what we're doing and where we're going, and I think the players have done exceptionally well in this first 5 games. More importantly, we need to build a momentum, more importantly, but we also need to show a very clear identity of how we want to look, and that we become a team that is difficult to play against, a team that actually you need to beat. We're not just going to be beaten and roll over. We have to continue to ride the wave we're on now and in confidence, but more importantly know that we've got to be at our best on the weekend.
Yeah, then should Tottenham defy the odds and bring home all 3 points against Chelsea, would you say that perhaps not only could they only compete for those top European spots, perhaps even the title as well?
Yeah, I think you never want to, and I will never, as a coach, I will never write any of that off. I think it's important that you don't set a ceiling on what you can achieve, because as soon as you do, you think you've hit what you wanted to objectively, and I want to make sure that we keep being competitive, we keep trying to win games, and more importantly, we keep performing at a high level, and don't forget that process. And Wherever that takes us by the end of the season is where you usually deserve to be in. More importantly, I don't like to put a ceiling on what we can do, but I want to make sure we finish as high as we can up the table.
Yeah, and just finally for me, the international break coming up, we've seen a lot of good individual performances of the players as well as like one concrete, like the whole team playing really well together. Do you think that this will result in a lot of international call-ups for your players?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think the best thing for me is not having many players left, because obviously it shows the quality we have within the squad, and it also shows the individual capacity of the player. Yeah, and I hope for every single player that they're getting their international call-ups, because it's obviously an honour to represent your country, and I want every player to be able to do that, because it's a different experience when you get to play against different level of players and obviously different nations. So yeah, fingers crossed a lot of them are called up, and if they're not, we continue to work here with the ones that aren't.
Thanks, Martin.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you. Thomas?
Hi Martin, pleasure to meet you.
You too, how are you?
Good, thank you. In terms of, I've noticed the common theme this season in the league in terms of an early kick-off time. I think we've got it against Chelsea, Tottenham, Chelsea. It kicks off at midday this week. Does this new change affect you? Does it affect your preparation? And what are your overall opinions on the change in kick-off times this season?
No, it doesn't really affect how we do things. I think when I was at Manchester United, Thomas, it was, we used to kick off at Lee at 12 o'clock most weekends to try and gain an advantage, because people have to travel, and you either travel the day before or you travel on the day. So I've been quite used to that, but I don't think it affects anything. You have to work around the kick-off time and prepare your team as best as possible, and we continue to do that now with the ones we've had, and I actually think it's a good thing. It makes it, the 12 o'clock kickoff is more unique now to this league, and obviously everyone's talking about it, so it's definitely made a hit within the women's football. So I think having a bespoke time that we can play games, whether that is 11:55 or 12, I think it makes a big difference, but it also enables us to get more eyes on the game commercially, which will definitely help it grow.